timeless elegance in Paris isn't just a style, it's a feeling, a philosophy that transcends mere decoration. The city of light perpetually transforms as classic florals frame historic facades and golden hour casts ethereal glows through Haussmannian windows. Timeless modern Parisian, new romantic French interior design. The Parisian approach to timeless interiors balances sophistication with whimsy, history with innovation. While minimalism has dominated global trends, French design embraces what designers now call the new opulence, where thoughtful layering, unexpected color pairings, and the marriage of vintage with contemporary create spaces filled with personality. In the coming minutes, we'll explore how to capture this enduring yet fresh aesthetic in your own home. From architectural foundations that honor heritage to lighting techniques that evoke that distinctive Paris glow, we'll uncover the secrets of spaces that feel both curated and effortlessly elegant. Picture yourself sipping café au lait in a sun-drenched salon where morning light dances across herringbone floors and whispers through gauzy curtains. Imagine spaces that breathe with the rhythm of Parisian life, where every glance reveals another layer of beauty, another story waiting to unfold. Subscribe to Opalux and let us guide you through the enchanting world of Parisian design, where romance meets refinement in every carefully curated detail. Together, we'll unlock the secrets of creating homes that capture the soul of Paris, spaces that feel both worldly and intimate, timeless yet utterly alive. Join our community of design lovers who understand that true elegance lies not in perfection, but in the poetry of living beautifully. For an immediate touch of Parisian elegance, try placing a small arrangement of classic blooms, roses year-round, lilacs when available, peonies in their season, in an unexpected vessel like a vintage pitcher or antique silver cup. Or layer a casually draped linen throw in a soft pastel over a deeper jewel-toned velvet chair, creating that characteristic French contrast between relaxed and refined, casual and luxurious. These small gestures speak volumes in a truly Parisian interior. Let's begin our journey through the elements that create this captivating aesthetic, starting with the architectural foundations that set the stage for Parisian timeless elegance. French interior design. Architectural details, moldings, herringbone floors, and Parisian windows. The heart of Parisian timeless decor begins with architectural elements that frame the entire experience. Classic Parisian interiors celebrate their structural heritage. Herringbone parquet floors that catch morning light, ornate crown moldings that draw the eye upward, and those iconic floor-to-ceiling windows that invite nature inside. These architectural features aren't merely decorative, they're fundamental to the French design philosophy, where history and modernity converse. In authentic Parisian apartments, these elements have weathered centuries, carrying stories through their gentle imperfections. The French embrace this patina, seeing beauty in the slight irregularities of hand-carved moldings or the subtle wear patterns on marble mantels. For homes without these inherent features, creating architectural interest becomes the first priority. Install simple picture rail moldings painted the same color as your walls for a subtle nod to French classicism. Consider applying thin wood strips in geometric pattern to flat doors for instant architectural detail. Even temporary solutions like peel and stick herringbone vinyl flooring can transform a space with minimal investment. White walls remain the quintessential backdrop in Parisian homes, but not stark gallery white. Look for whites with subtle undertones of cream, pink, or gray that shift with the changing daylight. This creates the luminous quality distinctive to Paris apartments, where light becomes almost tangible as it plays across surfaces throughout the day. The true secret to Parisian architectural elements is their contradiction. They're simultaneously statement-making and background. They create a framework that feels substantial, yet doesn't overwhelm the objects and life within the space. For an immediate architectural upgrade, consider painting your existing door frames and window casings in a soft, chalky white, slightly different from your wall color. This subtle contrast highlights architectural lines without creating harsh divisions, allowing your eye to appreciate the room's proportions in that distinctively Parisian way. French lighting design ideas. Chandeliers, sconces, and Parisian ambient lighting. Light in Parisian homes serves both practical and poetic purposes. The distinctive quality of Paris light, soft, diffused, yet somehow luminous, has inspired artists for centuries. This same light becomes an essential design element in authentic French interiors. Parisian timeless decor embraces layered lighting that mimics the city's natural illumination patterns. Unlike the stark overhead lighting common elsewhere, French interiors prioritize light at multiple heights, creating pools of warmth rather than uniform brightness. A crystal chandelier might serve as a statement piece, but its primary function is casting that characteristic dancing light across walls and ceilings. Wall sconces positioned at eye level create a flattering glow for both the space and its occupants. Year-round, these sconces might be paired with mirrors to amplify natural light, doubling the visual impact of sunshine filtering through gauzy curtains. Table lamps with fabric shades in soft whites or blush tones filter light through a warm lens, creating the intimate atmosphere of Parisian salons. The French approach to window treatments also reflects this thoughtful relationship with light. Heavy drapes might frame windows, but remain adaptable throughout the year, allowing sheer panels to diffuse rather than block sunshine. These lighter fabrics move with gentle air currents, bringing subtle animation to interiors. Consider the locations where morning and afternoon light enter your home. Place a small table where that natural spotlight falls, creating a perfect moment for breakfast or afternoon tea. This thoughtful positioning demonstrates the French talent for working with, rather than against, the natural qualities of a space. For an immediate lighting upgrade, replace cool-toned bulbs with warm white LEDs in table lamps and wall sconces. Add small targeted light sources at varying heights rather than relying on ceiling fixtures. A carefully positioned table lamp next to an armchair transforms an ordinary corner into a reading nook with distinctly Parisian charm. Even simple candlesticks grouped on a mantel or dining table create that characteristic French glow when illuminated. Parisian floral arrangements, and botanical decor. French interior design, nature elements. The Parisian relationship with nature differs distinctly from other design traditions. Rather than literal interpretations of the outdoors, French interiors engage in a subtle conversation with the natural world, maintaining this dialogue year-round. This conversation manifests through carefully curated elements that reference nature without attempting to recreate it. Fresh flowers remain the cornerstone of Parisian timeless decor. The French tradition of weekly flower shopping isn't mere decoration, but a ritual that marks life's continuous cycles. Throughout the year, different blooms appear. Winter's amaryllis gives way to tulips, then peonies, dahlias, and back to festive branches. These blooms appear in unexpected vessels: vintage champagne buckets, antique porcelain, or simple glass containers that highlight natural forms. Botanical motifs extend beyond fresh flowers in contemporary Parisian homes. Current trends embrace oversized floral patterns and botanical illustrations as art rather than mere pattern. These elements appear as focal points: a single wall with large-scale botanical prints or framed antique flower studies grouped in asymmetrical arrangements. Natural materials create tactile connections to the outdoors. Linen curtains that filter light while moving with air currents. Rattan accessories that introduce organic texture, and wooden elements with visible grain all reference nature without literal representation. The key distinction in Parisian homes: these natural elements appear alongside refined materials like marble, brass, and velvet, creating that characteristic French tension between rustic and refined. For an immediate introduction to this Parisian approach, try arranging perennial favorites in 3 vessels of different heights but similar materials, perhaps ceramic pitchers in varying scales. Place these on a surface where natural light highlights them at different times of day, allowing the arrangement to evolve visually as hours pass. Another approachable technique: group botanical art in unexpected combinations. Mix an antique flower illustration with a contemporary abstract that references similar colors and forms. This curated approach to nature, where elements are thoughtfully edited and presented, captures the essence of Parisian elegance without attempting to bring the entire garden indoors. French styling tips: how to create Parisian vignettes and decorative display. Parisian interiors excel at creating moments within a space, small compositions that invite pause and contemplation. These vignettes tell stories without words, capturing memories, aspirations, and the passage of time through thoughtfully arranged objects. The French approach to these compositions differs fundamentally from the minimalist styling popular elsewhere. While minimalism often reduces objects to pure form, Parisian vignettes embrace objects with history, patina, and personal significance. A well-worn book with a pressed flower marking a favorite passage, a vintage perfume bottle catching light on a marble surface, a small sculpture or found object positioned near a handwritten note. These combinations create emotional resonance beyond mere decoration. Timeless vignettes in Parisian homes often incorporate elements of discovery and continuous renewal. Objects rotate through displays, creating visual connections to life's evolving chapters. A collection of antique glass bottles in soft blues and greens might be arranged on a windowsill, filtering daylight into colored patterns across surfaces. Botanical specimens under glass cloches celebrate the scientific curiosity that accompanies perpetual discovery. The true art lies in the relationships between objects. Contrasts in scale, texture, and provenance create visual tension that draws the eye and rewards closer inspection. A large sculptural vase might be positioned next to a delicate vintage silver frame. A contemporary ceramic piece might sit atop antique books. These juxtapositions feel simultaneously intentional and effortless, curated yet discovered. For an immediate application of this concept, select 3 objects with personal significance but visual variety, perhaps a small artwork, a natural element like a geode or shell, and something with sentimental value. Arrange these on a surface near natural light, paying attention to how shadows and reflections become part of the composition. Add or subtract elements until the grouping feels balanced yet intriguing, complete yet leaving room for the eye to rest. Another approachable technique: create an evolving vignette on a tray that can be moved throughout your home. This portable composition might include a small floral arrangement, a favorite book opened to a meaningful passage, and a cherished object that evokes positive memories. Parisian living room layout ideas, French furniture arrangement for conversation. Parisian interiors have long prioritized rooms designed for connection and discourse. The historical salon tradition, where intellectuals and artists gathered to exchange ideas, continues to influence how French homes arrange furniture and define social spaces, maintaining relevance throughout all seasons. The hallmark of a French conversation space lies in its arrangement. Furniture positioned to facilitate interaction rather than positioned around a television or other technology. Seating typically faces inward, creating intimate zones that encourage dialogue. Unlike the formal symmetry of traditional living rooms, Parisian salons embrace a more relaxed, collected over time appearance while maintaining visual balance. Timeless salon arrangements in French homes adapt subtly to life's rhythms while maintaining their essential character. Furniture might be angled toward windows or French doors, acknowledging the relationship between indoor gathering and the world beyond. Textiles change weight and texture with comfort needs, while plants and flowers provide ever-changing life and movement in these social spaces. The contemporary Parisian salon distinguishes itself through thoughtful contraction rather than expansion. Instead of pushing furniture against walls to maximize open space, French interiors create deliberate, slightly compressed seating arrangements that foster connection. A pair of chairs might be positioned closer than would be typical in American homes, with a small table between them holding books or objects that spark conversation. For an immediately applicable salon technique, pull your seating away from walls by even a few inches, creating the sense that furniture floats within the space rather than anchoring to its perimeter. Position chairs at slight angles toward each other rather than in parallel lines, inviting occupants to naturally turn toward one another when seated. Another approachable salon strategy: create a dedicated tea or coffee station visible from your seating area, with beautiful cups and serving pieces on display. This visual reminder of hospitality and shared refreshment subtly communicates the space's social purpose, even when no gathering is taking place. Add a stack of thoughtfully selected books nearby, literature, art volumes, or travel guides to Paris, further signaling the intellectual exchange the space invites. French color palette, interior design, sophisticated Parisian paint, colors and combinations. The color approach in Parisian timeless interiors defies conventional expectations. While many associate French decor with neutral palettes, contemporary Parisian homes embrace sophisticated color relationships that create emotional resonance and visual intrigue. These palettes remain consistent yet dynamic, responding to changing light throughout days and seasons. At first glance, the foundation appears neutral. Walls in soft whites, creams, and barely there blushes establish a luminous backdrop. But these aren't flat neutrals. They contain subtle undertones that respond to shifting daylight throughout the year. A white with the faintest lavender undertone might appear cool in morning light, but warm as evening approaches, creating a living canvas that shifts with the hours. Against this refined backdrop, Parisian interiors introduce color through strategic punctuation rather than saturation. Contemporary trends see rich accent colors like Yves Klein blue, muted saffron, or dusty rose, creating focal points within otherwise restrained spaces. A velvet sofa in deep blue anchors a room of soft neutrals, while cushions in complementary tones build chromatic relationships without overwhelming the eye. Perhaps most distinctive is the French talent for unexpected color combinations that shouldn't work, yet somehow do. A chair in mossy green, positioned near curtains with the faintest blush tone, creates subtle tension. Accessories in rich amber tones might play against cool gray architectural elements. These combinations feel sophisticated precisely because they avoid obvious pairings. For an immediate color update reflecting this Parisian approach, select a single accent color from an artwork or textile you love. Introduce this color through 3 objects at different scales, perhaps a larger element like a throw or cushion, a medium-sized decorative object, and a small detail like a book spine or single stem flower. Position these elements asymmetrically throughout your space, creating a subtle color conversation rather than matching sets. Another applicable technique: assess your room at different times of day, noting how natural light affects color perception. Add a mirror positioned to reflect outdoor greenery, incorporating nature's palette indirectly. This thoughtful relationship with how color transforms throughout the day exemplifies the French understanding that color exists not as static pigment, but as a dynamic experience influenced by light, proximity, and eternal cycles. French home decor ideas. How to achieve Parisian style interior design. As the light shifts through Parisian windows, changing angles with each day's progression, French interiors remind us that homes aren't static showcases, but living canvases that evolve. The essence of Parisian timeless decor lies not in perfectly following rules, but in cultivating a sensitivity to how spaces affect our emotions and experiences. The true secret of French interiors has always been their refusal to choose between seemingly opposing qualities. They are simultaneously historic and contemporary, sophisticated and comfortable, curated and personal. This balance creates spaces that feel authentic rather than contrived, spaces that hold stories rather than merely displaying possessions. What distinguishes the Parisian approach is its emphasis on feeling over formula. A truly French interior might break conventional design rules, yet somehow achieve harmony through an intuitive understanding of proportion, light, and relationship. The continuous refresh in Paris isn't about purchasing new collections, but about rediscovering what already exists, seeing familiar elements through the lens of renewed appreciation. Consider your own space not as a project to be completed, but as an ongoing conversation between yourself, your surroundings, and life's eternal rhythms. Allow certain areas to remain unfinished, making room for serendipity and unexpected beauty. The most compelling rooms often contain an element of the unresolved, a sense of something still unfolding. Perhaps the most valuable lesson from Parisian design is patience, the willingness to acquire pieces slowly, to to live with spaces before making decisions, to allow a home to evolve naturally rather than demanding immediate perfection. Start with one area that captures the qualities we've explored, perhaps a reading nook with considered lighting, a small vignette of meaningful objects, or a refreshed color story that responds to continuous renewal. The poetry of Parisian interiors emerges not from grand gestures, but from the accumulation of thoughtful details, each contributing to a space that feels not merely decorated, but deeply lived in and loved. That, perhaps, is the true essence of bringing Parisian elegance into your own home, creating rooms that feel like a reflection of life itself, with all its beauty, complexity, and ever-renewing hope.